God is favoring me. It's an idea that was floated to me by Ilene Wilder at the Mastermind in Paradise, where I'm actually just have packed up, getting ready to leave. But I want to tell you the story because it's such a great tool, and I think you'll like it, and you can apply that tool or some variation of it in your daily routine. It's super powerful. Listen up.
You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy.
So I'm at the Mastermind in Paradise, and I had an opportunity by confluence of circumstance to spend some quality time with Ilene Wilder. Such a sweet, sweet woman. Oh my gosh, her energy is amazing. She's so down to earth. But I just say that any of you funnel hackers out there who know who Ilene Wilder is, or maybe if you don't know her, Ilene Wilder teaches you how to speak on stage, how to come up with your signature message, and then how to speak on stage and use that signature message to find clients, how to craft an irresistible offer. She's got a whole program to, help you craft your signature message, how to learn how to speak that message on stage. And then ultimately she says, all right, let's get you to an event. And so a lot of these events are virtual, so you could actually produce your own virtual event. She helps you with all that. And she can even help you drive traffic or give you the ideas. A lot of it's affiliate. So she'll help you target that affiliate who would want to make money by selling tickets to your event, to their list, right? And I was just like, that is so awesome. But anyhow, we were at a water park, and we ended up on the same bus and sitting by the pool. And poor woman, I will ask questions if you have information. How can I say it? If you're willing to talk, I'm going to ask you questions. And so we were talking about all kinds of stuff. I was talking about my business, getting testimonials and your customer stories, and also I was telling her about my, I'm going to speak on 50 podcasts in 100 days, and she thought all this stuff was really cool, and when was floating ideas back and forth, and of course I'm bent on guest speaking on 50 podcasts in 100 days, and she helps you speak and gets you on shows. There's the doorman, the bellman, not the doorman, came to get the luggage. Epic trip to Mastermind in Paradise, by the way. But back to Ilene. So Ilene's super gifted. Google her, follow her on Facebook. She does Instagram Reels and stuff. But really just, I'm going to say this. I met her in the buffet line, got to just say a quick hi, and she was so humble. And her energy was so down to earth. She's a mom with a few kids, family, all that stuff, right? Husband. But I just say that because sometimes when we see people on stage or they're people that we follow, admire, like, love, whatever, I can feel like sometimes they're a larger than life, not a real person. And so to get to meet her and have a minute to chat with her was awesome. And again, I corralled her in a forced environment. There was nowhere to run from Misha and his questions. Oh my gosh. Some of the things too, I was telling a story really quick. I was telling a story to her and a couple of her, one of her business partners, and I totally forgot the point of the story, but it was actually it was a great learning event for me if you would look at it from the gap and the gain perspective. But which I'll talk to another episode about. But I was like, I told them, I forgot the point of the story, and they were so let down. They were so let down, but I had them captivated with my story, so I took them halfway home. But anyway, I'm chatting with Ilene about all sorts of stuff, and she's so graciously talking to me, and we were actually talking about life, and we have kids, and my kids are 20 and 22. Hers are mid-teens and such. But I was just asking her about. She used to be a pastor for 20 years, or a minister for a long time. Her and her husband, Harrison, and she's really started having tremendous success the last 5 years since she jumped in with Russell Brunson and started doing what Russell says. And she is so grateful for the prosperity she has. Just so grateful for the prosperity. And it just shows. And when she talks about how grateful she is, it sparkles in her eyes. Like, she truly is like, we have been so favored. She feels favored by God, right? She's a minister. She's very into, I believe she's Christian. I didn't ask that specifically, but she's definitely in her faith, her and her family, and they're committed to it, right? And they assuming they do their church stuff a bunch, and she openly talks about it. But eyes sparkling when she talks about being favored, and then she said, "Hey, this is what in our family do. We talk about, and we're aware of how we're in moments where we're favored by God, right?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing." At first, I'm like, "Is that pretentious? Like, assuming that I'm favored and someone's not?" But I was thinking on it, and I was like, you know what? If I can just see how I'm favored, there's plenty of favors by God for everybody, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just up to us to see it, right? It's up to us to see how every experience, all these things, we're being favored by God. We're being given these gifts by God. And she's like, yeah, our family and her and her kids, she related it to her kids. I've got kids. She said, we're just so pumped up on this idea right now that, when something fun happens, they're like, oh my gosh, God just favored me, right? And so she was telling me examples that were super cool. Their kids are all funnel hackers, and so maybe they get someone cool on the podcast, or they have a creative thing, or, just all these fun little wins, right? You know how we have little wins along the way? And I just got favored by God. And I was like, you know what? Instead of closing my mind to that idea, what if I opened my mind to that idea? I literally thought that in that moment. I was like, I have an opportunity right now to be open to this idea and explore it. And it's like gratitude, right? But it's more pointing gratitude about my life and thanking God, right? I guess is how I'll say it. And so then she also said something very interesting. She has an opportunity to help people. So she was actually telling me a little story about, hey, she got to be a little inspiration for Russell, right? And she was like, I was so like, God's favoring me right now, giving me a favor, or allowing her to provide a little inspiration to Russell, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, just the way she talked about it, and then my mind going, hey, be open to this. And then next, even, starting to look for it. So day gets done, we leave the water park. She's free, her and her business partner. They are no longer corralled by Misha, peppering them with questions. And I was like, God just favored me with that interaction. Thank you, God, for favoring me. And then I was like, okay, now it's also up to me to, even the things where I think I'm not being favored, to find the favor in that. The supposed negative things that I label as negative in my life, I'm like, that's a favor by God too, right? It's all life, man, breath. Like, we're just favored by God. I don't know. That's my rant right now. I'm all pumped up, had an amazing week, was gifted with the favor to interact with Ilene and her business partner, Monica, Jira something, Joe's wife. So, hey, and the power of the mastermind, too. If you have an opportunity to jump in a mastermind in your niche, whatever that is, you're an accountant, you're, I don't know, I live in Encinitas, a lifeguard. If there's some group of your counterparts and they're masterminding, jump in, get the ideas. So good. Anyway, life is good. Have a good day out there.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.